that's one of the things that we can do for our kids today is always help them figure out that this is a learning curve. This is what we do. We are going to learn, we're going to adjust, and we're going to win because that's our mindset.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world.
Hey guys, welcome back. Super excited to chat with you guys again today on the podcast. We've had a busy week. I don't know how many of you guys feel like it just keeps getting busier and busier. But we had a busy week this week. So kind of like a recap, I remember last time we were chatting, we were talking about sports with our kids. Why is your finger on that button?
I'm just ready to go whenever you're ready. I don't want to interrupt you.
I know. You don't want to distract me in the mid-thought, right?
I wouldn't want to. No.
Yeah, so go ahead. I'll let you go. I don't want you to have to interrupt me later.
I mean, if you insist, I will.
I really don't, but go ahead.
What do you call a factory that makes okay products?
I don't know.
Satisfactory. That one's pretty bad. Get that one. Here's a good one.
Get the laugh come out for that one.
What did the buffalo?
And you didn't mean to interrupt me there either.
What did the buffalo say to his son when he dropped him off at school? Bye, son.
So, like I was saying,
okay, go ahead.
Most of these jokes that Greg gives out are for his own sense of humor. Just so everybody knows, you don't really have to feel like you have to laugh when you're driving down the road. But if by chance you do, please send a picture to him.
I got some encouragement recently saying that I think you're really funny on there. So I'm like, okay, that's all I needed. That'll keep me going for another year.
And that was from our sweet little Abby, who was listening to all of our podcasts. That's who you got the feedback from. Okay. Explains so much.
I trust her opinion. Okay, go ahead.
And so last time we chatted, we were chatting about sports, and we were just talking a little bit about the kids. They were getting ready for their cross country meet coming up, and at our three middle ones, Chrissy, Druce, and Ellie, run cross country, and it's been fun watching them. And you guys probably have heard some of our previous conversations about this, but they had never done it in their life. They're competitive. They wanted to play a sport. So here they are in cross country, and they've really proven to be very good at it. Actually, it's really neat to see and be a part of it. I think Greg, he's not even a runner, but he's starting to wear cross country swag. I'm going to tell you guys.
That is true.
He got himself his own shirt and shorts with cross country swag stuff that our kids, so when he comes out on race day coming up with his outfit with a number on his back ready to run, I'll know you're really, really into this cross country thing.
But I could ride a bike next to him or something.
Through the fields.
Yeah.
Got it. So with that being said, we had track meet last week, and the weather here is pretty warm. It's like 100 degrees. I mean, it's no humidity. It's dry, but it's a little hot out, and the kids were going to be running. And so we got to the place, I don't know, like 30 minutes early, right, honey? Like 30 minutes early to let them kind of get going and kids jump out of the car.
You kind of have to wait from the other schools that are showing up on buses and stuff. So our kids are waiting and hanging around. And, Druce, he's just like pumped because he's been through, two at this point, I think. And the first one he did well, second one he did well. Feels like he's gaining some momentum. I told him that if he gets a top 5 finish, I'm going to take him to a Boise State football game. So he's pretty jacked about that. But he kind of showed up for this one a little, like almost expecting that he's just going to be able to go out there and do well, right?
Yeah, he really didn't anticipate what was coming with the other teams because he hadn't ran against them before. Yeah. And he really just, I don't know.
And he's a good athlete, but he's in 6th grade and he's running against 6th, 7th, and 8th graders.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's kind of average height, so it's not like he has super long legs or anything like that. He's competitive, so he'll do his best. But the point
he's easily
was
a foot shorter than all the people that usually lead these races.
totally.
Yeah.
But with that, he was gaining momentum and doing better, and we could tell that he would, with enough of the right work, easily make the top 5. No matter what his competition is, easily make the top 5, just because he's a grinder and he's a hard worker and he is competitive and he definitely wants to be in that top 5. Mm-hmm. So we knew it, and we really, anticipated being any one of the races coming up. Well, he jumped out of the car and he grabs his basketball from our car and sees like 3 or 4 kids who I don't even know if they were runners or just left behind from school or just live in a neighborhood close by. And he decided, let's have a 3-on-3 real quick right before I'm supposed to run a mile and a half. So we kind of are like, Druce, Greg and I work really hard at giving him the right thought process. But, some things it's like, okay, Druce, I don't know if I would do that. But if that's what you want to do, we're going to be over by the starting line. So when you're ready, join us. So 30 minutes later, when the boys are about to take off, again, it's pretty hot out. It's been pretty hot. There's no shade. We are out in the sun right now. And he comes over like, are we about to start?
He's
out of breath.
Dripping with sweat.
Dripping with sweat. Like not enough water. So he starts chugging water. Like he just ran a mile and a half. And we're both sitting there like, okay. We're giving each other looks like,
let's see how this goes.
Let's see how it goes. And, maybe you're like us. Sometimes we're like, is this the right time to say that? I don't know if I would have done this talk, or is it just, you know what? It's a good opportunity to just let him be, because the truth is it kind of could have went either way, but they get in line and there are some good, like sharp, strong looking boys on this line. Yeah. Like there are some tall boys that look like they've been doing this for a little bit.
Yeah.
So they all line up. Druce typically is first on the line, and he's like literally ready to sprint the minute the gun goes off. This time, he's back a row or 2, and we're just kind of like, Druce, move up. He's trying to catch his breath. It's very obvious that he's thinking to himself, oh my gosh, I'm not even like cooled off enough to do this. They take off. And what happened next, babe?
Well, let's just say this. It for sure wasn't a top 5 finish.
No.
I don't know what he even got. What did he get? He was like in the 20s, wasn't it?
Yeah, which wasn't his best.
It was his worst showing yet, for sure. And he was gassed at the end. And it kind of shook him.
Yeah, he was gassed at the end. We're literally, there's like maybe 10 feet where all the parents are at the very end. And we're on either side of the flags. And I see a boy coming up. I'm like, Druce, sprint, like get this last guy in.
He had nothing.
And he had nothing. And this kid comes out of the like crowd and takes off. And he comes through and he gives me this look and I'm like, you okay? And I don't know about you moms. It's like, it always can go 2 ways. It can be like big hug, like no big deal. You did like, or it's kind of like I'm not going to say much, but what happened type thing. But so I said to him, you okay? Because Greg hadn't come from like the crowd yet. He's like, I have the worst cramp in the side of my side. It hurts so bad, Mom. I'm like, yeah, I could imagine that. He's like, I don't know what happened today. I'm like, me neither right now.
About that time I walk up, hand him his basketball back. Yeah. Say, all right, let's go home.
He's
hoping it's going to connect.
Yeah. So here's Greg and I. Not to like keep this going. I will tell you, Chrissy ran really good on that race. That was really good. Ellie did good. Again, it was a really tough competitive group. Yeah. But so we get in the car and we get home and into the air conditioning, and about 5 glasses of water later, he kind of gives this look like, I don't know if I should have played basketball. Yeah. Before.
He was pretty shook though, He was when you can tell he's frustrated with himself. He's not really sure how to handle that. He's not the type to just walk around being upset.
No.
So what he'll do is he'll kind of get quiet, or he'll get kind of a little clingy type thing.
Or how do you think I did? How do you think I did? Do you think I did good? Do you think I did my best?
And he kept asking. I'm like, hey, you've had better races. You'll do better. Until finally he asked, so what do you think I could have done better?
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, there it is, right.
So we had a great opportunity, guys, and I'll preface this before we kind of go into it all, is that, always our kids, know that we give correction with love. It's always from a position of knowing that their best is enough, but their best is required.
Sure.
And so we just want to tell you guys that, we have a big philosophy. We don't, our kids play a lot of sports. They get in the car. We don't rag on them right away. We don't, we try really hard to just make sure that we have that discerning spirit.
We
of
balance
knowing,
it. We balance it with making sure that they know that they're loved and they're supported, that they know that they're cared for no matter what. But at the same time, we're winners. So if we're going to run a race, why don't we try to go win? And that's part of it.
And so with that, when we sat down, it was a position of where like, let's have a good conversation about this. Yeah. Like with a little feedback from us and a little feedback from him.
Yeah.
On how we can improve for the next one.
So of course we go back to our core philosophies all the time in these spots. And like Jackie was saying, if your best is enough, but your best is required. And when we mention that philosophy again, we're talking about like, hey, do you really think that all the kids that got top fives, which I know is your goal, do you think all those kids were playing basketball before this race? And he's like, thinking about it. I'm like, I'll just tell you, I was standing by the starting line. They were over there. They were warming up. They were relaxing. They made sure that they were already hydrated because they didn't want to cramp, right? They weren't chugging water right before the race starts either. They were, just kind of moving their legs and loosely stretching and just getting their minds in the game because it's a lot of mental battle when you're out running like that. And he's just going to be like, okay, and then, and we just told him, I said, but here's another philosophy. Sometimes we win and sometimes we what? Sometimes we learn. And so what'd you learn from all of this? And he's like, yeah, I probably should have done that. And he starts kind of getting a beat myself up mode, And so we just told him, he said, well, two things can come out of it when you have some kind of a disappointing event, or maybe you didn't really give it your best because of whatever reason, like today. You can either go to bed or hang out tonight and just keep reliving everything you did wrong, and then almost get to the point where you can almost hurt your own confidence, just by dwelling on what doesn't work. Or you can remember how great of a runner you actually are. You can get focused on how you can use this as fuel in order to make sure you prepare better next time. Maybe practice a little harder. Maybe make sure you don't make those same mistakes again. Let it be fuel to actually learn from it. I remember, I don't know if we ever talked about this on a podcast yet or not, but I remember the season when I was going through this life lesson with Druce. We were playing a lot of basketball in the yard, and it was a sometimes you win, sometimes you learn thing. And we'd run this competition. We're basically running back and forth across two different hoops, full court hoops, and just shooting shots. And if I made the shots before he made them, then I'd win, and vice versa. But I was beating him like over and over. But he'd get so frustrated that at the end of it, all he would do is he'd get like crying a little bit. He'd get so mad. He would just, and I was like, okay, but what did you learn? And he would be so frustrated that he couldn't even think about it. And so I would just beat him repetitively. Finally, I just had to slow him down and be like, listen, if I'm beating you, there's a reason I'm beating you. But you're so emotional about your loss that you don't get any lesson from it. So how will you ever improve? And we've all played with people like this that are good athletes,
100%.
But they freak out in such a negative way. And they call it, I'm just so competitive, quote unquote. It's like, no, you're just emotionally unintelligent. You can be competitive, but how do you learn from things that, when you don't win? So that way you can keep edging forward and getting better.
Right. And I think, that's one of the things that we can do for our kids today is always help them figure out that this is a learning curve. This is what we do. We are going to learn, we're going to adjust, and we're going to win because that's our mindset. Yeah. And even in that, basketball season, which I remember, it's so funny because he started really maturing in that aspect. He started figuring out how to, get in there a little bit better. And if you ask Druce today,
I know. It's crazy.
He comes into the house almost every day. And what does he say? Hey, Mom, guess
11,
what?
He's 11 years old, right?
He says what?
And we play that same game here since we've been here at our Boise home. And to this day still, it's really frustrating actually. He's like, I'm still undefeated in Boise.
Yes.
I haven't beat him yet.
Literally, he comes in the house, hey, Mom, guess what?
And I have been trying hard to.
And I'm like, what? And he's like, I'm undefeated again in Boise. And
I'm still undefeated in Boise.
And so I don't necessarily, I
Yeah.
giggle with him.
So I
high-five him.
So I go to my room and
Yeah.
I'm just like, all right, what can I learn from this?
Yeah, I know. I want to go up to Greg afterwards and be like, sometimes you learn.
Yeah, that'd be a bad idea.
And I don't. I let him go to his own room and discuss it with himself because that kid. But I will tell you, just to wrap up the whole thing with the race, it was a really good opportunity, guys, for us to just, walk through things with him. He was super open to getting some good tips. He was super energetic as far as going to bed and starting fresh the next day. I will tell you, we haven't had a race yet. It's coming up this upcoming week, but he already knows. He's like, all right, Mom, race day is Tuesday. Here's what my Tuesday looks like. I'm going to make sure I'm drinking enough water ahead of time. I'm going to make sure I'm eating enough of the right food ahead of time. I'm going to make sure that I'm in the car ready to go and, ready to stretch with my team. I'm ready to, really get on that line and give it my best. And I know that this upcoming Tuesday one will be one of his best. I don't care if he places 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. It doesn't really matter. His mindset is so different this time that it will be his best race, regardless.
Well, he just ran this last one. We've had 2 now.
Oh, did he? I thought it.
Yeah, remember? So we've had 2 since we did our last podcast.
Oh,
so
I thought this was his
one, and then
upcoming
he
one.
came back this last time though, and that little bugger, he had his best time ever. He got 9th.
Correction.
He got 9th, which is his best finish yet. And the competition's getting better every week.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was by far his best race. So he for sure learned from it. He's got 2 meets this week and, he's excited. By the way, also we got him in flag football and he had his first scrimmage yesterday and he was out there. I think he had 3 touchdowns and an interception and a couple of big stops. And, he's in 6th grade running against 8th graders in cross country. And then he goes out and plays 5th and 6th grade football and he's like destroying people. It's so awesome.
Yeah, and he was the fastest little boy out there, working hard. So with that all being said, I think it was just such a reminder to Yumi. And on the next one, I'll discuss the next lesson we chatted with our girls about with golf. So.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. And we have great news. You get more of us. You can expect new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. So be sure to consistently tune in with us and enjoy our show. See you next time.